Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monday on Genderqueer Chat. I've switched days with Matt just for this week. So this week's topic is what is your gender identity? And I don't have it right in front of me, but it's something along the lines of like, how has your understanding of gender changed along the way, or of your identity, and like, do you think you've got it figured out? Something along the lines of that. I know that's not exactly right. I'm going to put it down in the description box below. But anyway, my gender identity, I mean, this is Genderqueer Chat, so my gender identity is genderqueer. That is just the label that I found. What that means to me is I don't identify with being female. I don't identify with being male. I don't identify with having a gender at all, really. I feel like I'm just a person, and I just don't feel like gender is a part of who I am at all. So that is my gender identity. It's hard for me to say, some people say third gender. I don't feel like I fit into a third gender. I feel like I'm just not a gender. So if not gender classifies as a gender, which doesn't make any sense at all, but I think that in some societies maybe they would, say third gender. I don't know. But anyway, how that has sort of evolved over the years, or how that kind of came about, when I was a kid, like I think I've always felt this way, and I've always been this way. It's just sort of my makeup and, who I am, how I am. But when I was a kid, I didn't like being a girl, and there was a few times I can remember saying to people, like, I wish I was a boy, and there was lots of times that I did wish I was a boy, but even as a kid, I don't think that wishing I was a boy was about really feeling like I was a boy. It was more about feeling like I wasn't a girl, and that was, like, the other side of that. So I think, and then as I got older and I started learning about trans people and all of that, I think I kind of, there was a period where I thought, like, oh, I must be trans. And I think that was the same feeling as when I was a kid. Like, it was like, well, I don't feel female, I don't identify with being female, therefore I must be male. But when I started really putting myself in the shoes of, like, if I were really genuinely male, what would that feel like? It wasn't like this sort of big epiphany of, like, yeah, that's who I really am, and I think I kind of just feel like I am, I think that it was that same thing. It was like, not female must equal male. And that's so not how it is for me. I am just a person. I am just me. And I don't fit in this highly, feminine way, and I don't fit in the highly masculine way. I'm just who I am. And even I can remember being a teenager and somebody telling me that, the reason that girls tend to hang out with, with one another, and boys tend to hang out with one another, is people will try to find other people that are, like, the same as them and, hang out with them. And it was like a psychologist, psychologist, I think. I don't know. Somebody in that industry who was, like, telling me about the way that socialization works. And I remember thinking, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's not true at all. Like, I have no desire to, like, you know, go hang out with a bunch of, like, white, blonde girls. Like, I just, you know, I have no desire to do that. Like, I remember thinking, like, that's not possible. That's not the way the world is. And I think as I've gotten older, I've started to understand more and more that it's, you know, maybe that is the way the world is, and maybe I'm just different. And I kind of know that I'm different, you know. But it's sort of, I think that, you know, I would like to live in a world where all these stereotypes and all that stuff just doesn't exist. But, you know, I think there's more, like, I'm coming to understand more and more that the stereotypes in terms of gender really are based on something, and just because I've never felt female and I've never felt like I fit into that role doesn't mean that everybody else, you know, also feels the way that I feel. They're just, like, I think I used to think, like, you know, other people were just kind of too stupid or, like, not self-reflective enough to fully understand that it was all bullshit. But, you know, maybe it's just that I'm genderqueer and it's that I don't fit into that world, but everybody else really does fit into that world. Not everybody else, obviously, like, but, you know, the sort of mainstream cisgendered society. I was gonna say something else, but I don't know. I think I do have my gender figured out. You know, it's sort of, I'm kind of okay with, I'm more than kind of okay. I'm very okay. I'm very comfortable with, you know, just not having a gender. And, like, that's who I am. That's where I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm not stressed about it. Like, you know, I used to be so stressed, like, every day, like, when I was younger, was, like, this terrible, overwhelming sense of, like, like, every time that I was looked at like female or treated like a girl or whatever, like, I would get so upset, like, just, it was terrible, it was absolutely terrible. And I think that now that I'm sort of like, okay, you know, I'm genderqueer, blah, 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 like, that's how it is for me, I'm okay with it now. I still don't love getting, periodically, I'll still get, you know, people, especially guys and stuff on the street, you know, like, giving me the eye, and I don't like that at all. But it doesn't sort of, like, upset me to the core the way that it used to. And I think that having examined my gender for all this time is really what has made me more, you know, feel sort of more okay with myself. And again, just, I think that I would lie if I said, I have it, like, all completely figured out. I don't know if you can ever really have it all completely figured out. But then at the same time, I'm like, I do have it figured out. Like, I can't see that it's like I have it figured out for me. I don't have it figured out of, like, what is sort of in society and, like, how to fit into that society and how to, like, you know, live in a world where everything is gendered. But just inside of myself, I feel like I have it figured out. Because at least I feel, you know, when I've got my eyes closed and nobody's around and I'm in my own skin, I feel like that's, you know, this is what's going on. I feel like it's, Like, I know that I don't have a gender. I don't feel it. So, yeah. I don't know if that made a whole lot of sense. I started making this video earlier, and I got not distracted. I had to stop and do something, and I was gonna just, like, make another half and then, like, put them together, but I'm too lazy to edit, so hopefully that made sense. It's late. I'm going to go, and I will see you guys next week on Thursday. So, bye guys.